Coming up on Up at Noon, we're joined by iZombie's Rahul Kohli to talk about his favorite zombie movies, hamburgers, are they getting worse, and oh yeah, there's a new Star Wars trailer. We are losing our minds. All that and more right now on Up at Noon Live.
Hello. Oh my God.
Look at it, we're doing the show again. What's happening?
What's up?
Hey!
Hi. All right. Sorry. We're really excited. We've been up since 6 o'clock in the morning watching the Star Wars trailer over and over again. How's everybody doing?
I'm okay.
Good.
I'm Max.
Hi.
This is Wes.
Hey, how's it going?
This is Wes City,
Like the town.
Like
Yeah.
like a large town.
Yeah,
Do you know
like
the
a very
difference
large town.
between a city and a town?
Imagine population factors into
City
it.
has a cathedral. A city has a cathedral.
Oh,
That is
wow.
the medieval rule for the difference between cities and town. Anyway, Wes,
That's right.
you are from Loot Crate, and
I
you're
am.
coming with the first Loot Gaming box.
Correct. This is the very first ever Loot Gaming box monthly subscription crate.
So has
and we've got it right here.
anyone seen what's inside this?
There have been a few like casual unboxings online. I think the first box to land was actually New Zealand of all places, but this is the first like official unboxing of this crate.
Cool. Well, we're
Spoiler
gonna-
culture is kind of a big thing with these things, right?
That's correct. We release like trailers, we have themes, we say which franchise is in it, but we don't say what's in the crate because like any other great entertainment franchise like Star Wars, we want to tease at it but not give everything away.
Okay, well, we're going to get to that in a second. We're going to unbox that. But first, if you're just tuning in for the first time ever, well, I'm sorry because you're probably very confused. But that's what we do every week. This is Up at Noon. This is a bunch of things and stuff that we like to say. There's different ways you can watch it. You can watch it on IGN, on Twitch, on YouTube, on the PS4, Xbox One, Roku, Apple TV, Smart Fridge, or Roomba apps.
Did you say Smart Fridge?
Yeah, I say Smart Fridge every week. I added Roomba this week, though, to be goofy. We're on Twitter. We try to juggle a lot of different plates here. Brian's checking Twitter right now. If you use the hashtag #UpAtNoon, we can see what you have to say about us. Whoa, somebody just tweeted a bikini at you. Cool.
Yeah, it's apparently National Beer Day and also World Health Day, so that's cool.
So the perfect combination of health and beer, the two enemies. This episode is sponsored by Quantum Break. I don't know if you saw us playing at the beginning. That is a game where you can freeze time and mess around a little bit. And it stars the man Sean Ashmore, who you may know as the Iceman, who normally freezes matter instead of time.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that was good. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
They're
deep,
gonna
huh?
put all that on the box of the Game of the Year edition.
Somebody somewhere is shaking their head angrily and writing an email.
Yeah, go check out Quantum Break. It's out now on Xbox One and PC.
Yeah. So yeah, now let's get down to the Loot Crate business.
Cool. Yeah, so this is the very first unboxing. Actually, this isn't the first time I've opened this box. I flew up here from LA, and it turns out that TSA hates mystery boxes.
Are you kidding me?
So like they've been rubbing their hands all over
Well, the
it
idea,
and stuff?
well, I didn't tell them it's a mystery box because I knew that would probably set off a few red flags.
Yeah.
But they're just like, they just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything like weird inside of it.
Okay.
But yes, this is the first time opening this box in
All
public.
right.
So first item we got here is a.
Oh my God, what size is that?
This is a small. So.
Damn it.
What do you mean? You
can
could look.
squeeze
You
in there,
could
you
look
dirty
great
No,
in
I
that.
can't.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You could squeeze into there. Look great. Go to the beach with it.
I'm extremely fussy about graphic tees, but this one totally passes my test.
Yeah,
Exactly.
this is really cool.
All the retro characters.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole thesis of Loot Gaming is to kind of bring the gaming world into real life. So as opposed to just putting like logos and everything, we want to fill it with characters, stories, and just like really cool stuff from video games.
So next question. Are these Skyrim socks?
Those are Skyrim socks.
Can I have these?
Yeah, this box is for you guys.
Look at these
I'm not gonna
Skyrim
pack
socks.
it up and carry
See,
it away with
this
everyone.
is okay. I'm fussy about this stuff. Like mashup tees, I basically swore off because they're like there's just too many of them, and it just I feel like it sends too much of a message. But like Mario is like iconic, you know, it's classic. And then like this is I could wear this at a wedding.
I probably will wear that at a wedding pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, okay, so what else we got?
Some dress socks for you guys. Heroes of the Storm mystery minis. You guys can crack that open if you want. See
Oh,
what
sweet.
You got.
So now you can
Blizzard
actually
characters.
specify what T-shirt size you are and stuff. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't send you a mystery size T-shirt. Good luck. Yeah, exactly. And I can get another one for you over here. We have a Street Fighter Shadowloo pin.
Wow.
The same one that M. Bison wears.
Oh my God, this is what Raul Julia wore in the film.
A friend of mine had one of
This
those
is really cool.
one of those Shadowloo hats in
Yeah.
high school, and he wore it to school. And he's a very very goth boy with a large trench coat and a Shadowloo hat. And they made him take it off because they said he looked like an SS officer.
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
did-
but it's from Street Fighter. And they're
Wow, I
like,
love this guy.
oh, this is horrible. This is nasty sausage man. Look at this.
Is he holding
Exactly.
a meat?
He's got
a honey
He's
baked
got a
ham.
frying pan with eggs, which
ever-
realistically would fall off if you held it like that. But
If you want to feel really good about yourself, you can just pose right next to that.
this looks like a hangover. Like this is like
been
just
there.
a bunch of sausages all around
You
him.
guys want to crack this open too?
What is it?
That is a Halo scarf.
Oh,
I know,
Nice.
right? It's like kind of a, that's our big cosplay element that we put in this crate.
Tactical
so go to a
scarf
convention.
camo?
Exactly, yeah. You know, just like
Oh,
Chief
that is
wore.
very soft. Let me see this. Wow.
It is not made out of the same material as Chief's helmet.
This is beautiful. You want to don this, Max?
Okay.
Mess up that great hair of yours. Wow, this is
Looking
so.
great. Master Chief is here.
He's here. Oh my God.
Can't see me.
We've never seen his face before.
And the last item, this is
Keep it
kind of
cozy.
like carrying from crate to crate.
Yeah.
But it's a pin. And we have a coin pin in every crate, so it's actually like a wearable pin that you can take to conventions and everything.
Cool.
And it's always going to be like a coin inspired by the theme. So the theme of this is legacy. So every character, every franchise has a long-standing legacy. And the next theme is Metro. So we're going for games that kind of take place in a big urban setting.
Yeah.
Like we have The Division, we have Mirror's Edge, we have Fallout. Like just kind of like big Metro settings. So there'll be a Metro coin in the next crate.
That's
And
so
there'll be,
cool.
like, a whole
And
line of
that'll
products.
double as currency in the apocalypse.
That's correct. Yeah, exactly. It's the next cap. And then every crate has the game manual in it, which kind of outlines every single item.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's really awesome because actual games don't even come with manuals.
I know, right?
This is really cool that you guys kept this alive.
Yeah, who would think that that'd be a throwback item, right? And so every single item in the crate has like a 2-page spread.
Yep.
So when we're thinking about what goes in this crate, we try to think like, okay, does this item deserve a 2-page
Yeah.
spread? So that's kind of like a really good filter to keep us from like throwing stuff in, to make sure that everything kind of feels truly curated to fit like the franchise and what people love about games.
And you guys also commissioned the like artists to work on the artwork on the inside of the box.
That's
too,
correct,
right?
yeah. So like part of the experience is kind of the unboxing. So this is kind of like inspired by the word legacy. So there's like really big worlds of gaming because we really want to focus on worlds. Each theme from here forward kind of focuses on like a big setting in the game, hence Metro, like games that take place in that setting.
I've seen you guys do some stuff with some of the boxes where there is actually punch out parts or they're interactive too. And
Yeah, we've even done augmented reality boxes.
Yeah.
where
It's like
monsters
a
appear and stuff
modern
like that.
Happy Meal.
I was just
for
gonna
you.
say,
exactly.
yeah,
We
like
have a whole
I remember getting Happy Meals and like they would come with a car and you could turn the box into a ramp and
Yeah.
just bounce off all that French fry oil that you left in there.
Exactly, yeah. We have a whole interactive team that develops stuff like that. They're awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So where can people go to check out Loot Gaming? and sign
Loot
up for
Crate,
that?
just lootcrate.com/gaming, but we have a lot of other boxes in there too. We have DX, which is like the super souped up version of Loot Crate. We have Loot Anime, Loot Pets, all of our apparel lines.
Loot
with
Pets,
Level
that's where
Up.
they send you like a bearded dragon or gecko every month.
That's correct, yeah. You
It's very
really
sad
accumulate
when
a lot of
Fish
geckos.
Month rolls around because those
Yeah.
don't travel well.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's just a box with holes in it. And there's a lot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Rush shipping,
Oh,
please.
a beta fish. It's very dry. This is bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I would
Cool.
totally subscribe to
Well,
that.
thank you so much for joining us and showing this off, and for
Dude,
my
thanks
new
for having
socks,
me,
which
guys.
I'm putting in my pocket right
Exactly,
now.
yeah,
We have a very this is probably the worst little Let's Play challenge we've done. I'm just going to be upfront. It's real gross and stupid. So let's watch it.
What's up, punks and punkettes? It's me, Brian Altano, and this is Max Gobo, and we're playing Killer Instinct on Xbox One. Killer Instinct. Guess what that means? It's time for a robot dinosaur raptor to fight the dude from Battletoads wearing a
Who would win?
weird
the robot
squirrel
dinosaur
helmet.
or the Battletoad dressed as
Yeah.
a squirrel?
All right, let's get in there. I'm gonna be green.
Oh, I love Killer Instinct.
Battle of the Lizard stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Beat the crap out of each other. Oh my god, this game looks like action figures. I love it.
All right.
So
It's
I
good
got
to see
a
Conker.
confession.
Yeah.
I love the original Killer Instinct.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
all
really fun
about
game.
it. You can make that werewolf beat up a man.
Do you ever listen to Killer Cuts out in the car?
Hell yeah.
And give kisses. In
I
high
listen to
school?
that doing exercise. when
Yeah?
I used to do that.
I used to do the exercise of kissing.
Really?
Lots of gorgeous women in
Watch out, it's one of those
my
Zoids.
dad's car.
You did not make out to the Killer Instinct soundtrack.
Totally did.
No way.
Yeah, I did.
You got to be kidding me.
Yep, lost my beat card.
No, you didn't.
Totally.
That's not true.
Yeah, 100%.
Stop doing that.
What was that?
He's got
Wow,
a,
what was?
He's got a ram fist. Yeah.
Yeah,
Killer
bloody
Instinct.
1990s Bill Clinton for president, saxophone dad. Oh, LL Cool J World Tour.
Whoa!
Featuring Coolio. Saved by the Bell's on. I gotta go home and eat Gushers.
Time for Snick.
Yeah, fruit by the foot. Gonna measure it. Just make
String
sure it's 3
things.
beats.
Only 90s kids will recommend this fight to their friends.
Oh, hold on. I got a few
I'm going
jokes
down
I
to
got
Mickey
from.
D's to get some Arch Deluxe and play Monopoly.
Yeah.
Oh! Did I die? I died.
What's the sound of that? It's the sound of French toast sticks coming to Burger King near you.
Yo, Gwen Stefani just got braces.
No doubt. Check it out. Pogs.
What else is from the 90s?
You want to go see Congo in theaters?
Yo, there's something bad happening in Chechnya. I was 8. I don't know actually what.
I just learned the word Rwanda today.
Oh no.
Man, check it out, a mini disc.
Yo, they're making the 4th Batman movie.
It's gonna be tubular.
Alicia Silverstone, so hot.
Yeah, she gives me the biggest bow rag.
It's called a stiffy, dude.
I caught her panties in that Aerosmith video, the hottest new band.
Yo, I just heard this new rapper. His name is Eminem's.
Check it out, it's New Kids on the Block World Tour Reunion.
So sick of this new TRL show.
Who's cheating on who on Melrose Place?
Yo, I hear they're gonna make a PlayStation 2.
1990 is the best year ever made.
Yo, if you put a rumble pack in your gold N64 controller and put it on your crotch, it's sort of fun.
Cameos are killing me.
And that concludes the battle of the Toad and the Dinosaur.
That's right, the Toad won. But secretly, if you were alive in the 90s, you're a winner too.
Yeah.
Because
If
you have
you-
some of the worst knowledge ever in your head right now.
Survived the 90s and got any of those jokes we made that weren't even jokes, we just said stuff. That's not
Yeah.
a joke, by the way. Is when you say something from a time that isn't now, it's not a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
If you don't like this
It's
video,
a big secret is we're not funny.
log into your dad's CompuServe
but
account.
those YouTube commenters already knew that.
Yeah, well, YouTube wasn't invented yet, actually.
Yeah.
So maybe what you should head on over to the
Why don't you go
BBS message boards
download
on
Real Player.
Prodigy.
Yeah.
Check the mail. Maybe there's 50 free hours of AOL.
You can
punk
reach
ass.
me on MuraiTrunks@earthlink.net.
Yeah, and I'll see you after school because
Yeah.
I'm still in school during that era.
I gotta go home and watch Toonami.
I'm gonna see if my dad can let me borrow his car so I can do kisses to the Killer Cuts album.
You're not gonna kiss to the Killer Cuts album.
losing that V car.
Stop it.
That is a game that has too many details on that frog. It's too gross. I don't like to look at it. It's awful. If you have an
Yes.
Xbox and you'd like to play a game that is pretty, I don't mean to knock Killer Instinct. I love it, but it's really, there's some things in there that are just hard to look at and upsetting. But if you want to look at Sean Ashmore's pretty face, check out Quantum Break.
That's right.
See it? Do you see it?
Take a look.
Take a look. That's it.
him.
That's the man.
That's him.
That's realistic denim. Thank you.
There's
All right.
beautiful denim in this game. Hey, what's up?
Hey!
Hey.
How's
Hi,
it going?
Rahul.
Good, thanks. How you guys doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rahul Kohli. He's here to hang out with us for the whole show. We're going to talk about iZombie a little bit, and then we're going to get to the big thing that obviously, Star Wars. You got up very early this morning, right?
I did, yeah.
So we'll get there in a minute. But first of all, thank you for coming to do this show. I ran into you, what, like 2 years ago at Comic-Con?
Yeah, we just did the pilot and we were picked up for a season, so we were going around and there was no interest in this pilot whatsoever. But people were still nice and stuff, and yeah, we bumped into you guys at IGN,
Yeah.
and yeah, we said we'd do this eventually.
It was very cool because working Comic-Con is like we have that room in the Hard Rock, and celebrities come in and they do interviews with us, and it's very rare where somebody. Yeah, you're there, man. You're on.
Stop.
You're on Netflix. It's very rare where people come in and they're just like they recognize me and they're like hi, and I was like, then I found out you've been a big IGN fan for like a long time.
Yeah.
You were just telling us before we started talking that that you check the reviews.
Yeah.
You check the reviews of your show.
I do, yeah. So, I'm on the boards checking what everyone has to say.
How and why would you do that?
I think it's hilarious. Some of the comments are really fun, and it's great to just see the banter between everyone, and some of them are really hurtful, but it's good. It's like calluses, right? Like I'm guessing I'll harden to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
Sort
of.
of.
Like we've been doing this for a while, especially with like the video game culture and that sort of ecosystem. And I'm mostly thick-skinned to it, but every now and then somebody says one thing that gets right through.
They'll find something.
Yeah, they'll find something.
Yeah, it's really, I would say that it's like breakfast time. Like if you're like just having the coffee and like first thing in the morning and it's just somebody's being like, this guy sucks. And you're like, what? I haven't even had breakfast, you know?
It's hard to justify though. Like I mean, like we all have significant others that don't work in the same industries as us, and I think the best way to explain it is just like we all have really cool jobs and we get to do really cool things. But like the monkey paw to all of that is that a couple times a day somebody just says the worst thing you've ever read in your entire life. But then you get back to your desk and there's toys and you're on a set and you're working with fantastic people.
Oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't really balance out. I mean, a few negative comments, and I mean we're very lucky. With me anyway, I kind of haven't really seen anything too bad.
Yeah.
We just
get
usually
there.
get like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm guessing as you go on, it will get
So,
worse.
so iZombie kind of came out around the time where a lot of people were like, "Man, there's a lot of zombie stuff." I think there was a sort of fatigue. Walking Dead had already blown up. People were looking for the next big zombie thing, and you guys came in with this like totally different approach to the genre. Can you
Yeah.
talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, the timing was a little bit like we kind of had to endure a lot of comments about being a poor man's Walking Dead, and
Right.
like we are done with this zombie genre, and then a show comes out called iZombie, like the app. But yeah, I mean, it was. I think people were surprised after they seen the pilot and they realised, oh, this is more like Buffy
Yeah.
and Veronica Mars, and it's not your kind of Romero type thing. But we've introduced that too now. The mythology is kind of growing, and we're able to kind of incorporate a lot more from different genres and pull the best bits from zombie films.
Yeah, it felt sort of a little sort of grounded in campiness at the beginning, and then I think it's veering more towards sort of dark humor.
Yeah.
which is great because like leaning on the gore aspect of zombie stuff, but making it funny is a very hard thing to walk on. But you guys are doing it very well.
I think the campiness is really just, and like the kind of the humor, like even Romero's old stuff was like, there's a comedy element there.
Yeah.
Like
there
having
has to
zombies
be.
in a mall or on an ice rink, like it's, and I feel like that kind of got lost in the more recent sort of renaissance of
Yeah, I
undead
guess so.
culture.
I mean, all of it's about. I mean, everyone sort of focuses on the apocalypse, and it's not so much about zombies. It's more about like humans and
Yes.
and you know, who's worse? You know, The Walking Dead, that kind of idea. But like with ours, it's really just a coming of age. It's someone who goes through some trauma, and zombieism is a kind of metaphor for anything really. It could be an STI, it could be, or, you know what I mean? It could just replace anything, and how you then sort of, you know, adjust. But the humour is important, and that's kind of Rob Thomas's staple. You know, Party Down, Veronica Mars. It's
Right.
That's you know that's the.
Were
that's
you a
what
fan
it
of
is.
Party Down?
I hadn't seen it. I hadn't
really?
seen Veronica Mars or Party Down.
Party Down is a fantastic show. It was like it was a staple on like early Netflix for a while, and then it just vanished. Because
Yeah.
things just disappear on Netflix, and then you never find them again. So
Everyone's been telling me Party. Like when I booked this show, everyone was just like, "Dude, you need to watch Party
Yeah.
Down." I think I did the first bunch of episodes, and yeah, it was incredible. But Veronica Mars, I watched after I booked it because it was sort of rude to meet all the, because we keep having cameos.
yeah,
From like Rico, and we even had Kristen do a voiceover
Yep.
for the show and stuff. So it was kind of like you need to kind of do
like
that.
I got to do my homework on this
Yeah.
one. Yeah. So you play video games. Mm-hmm. When?
All the time.
All the time. So
yeah,
do
like
you
when
have
I
a lot
should
of
be
like
learning
downtime?
lines and stuff, I'm playing games.
Oh really?
What are you playing these days?
At the moment, I'm playing. Oh god, I was playing Phantom Pain for a while, and I was
nice.
really grinding. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I keep building my little oil rig and just investing, and I'm stuck in this loop with this game.
So when you play that game, do you like take it seriously and like try to have like a badass snake, or do you have like a very like I had a pink mother base, and I think my little icon that I made just said like old woman and had like a picture of a crab or something.
No, I took it way too seriously.
Okay.
It's complete. It's the most ugliest, realistic oil
Okay.
rig color. No chicken hats. No.
Oh wow, you're
nothing.
taking this serious.
Dead serious.
Are you still showing up and punching people and keeping them in line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm still. Yeah, I still do that. I still. They come over. They do that.
Yeah, it's like I've noticed with
Thank you, sir.
with Phantom Pain, it was definitely in probably my top 2 or 3 Game of the Year candidates for 2015. Like last year was just an awesome year for games. But
But Witcher as well, right? That year.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be.
So there are people that put in like an hour or two, and they're like, I get it, not really for me. And then there was everybody else who put in like 40, 50, 60 hours. It's part sunken cost fallacy and part like I don't want this to end because it's just that loop of just sneaking in, kicking everybody's ass, and getting out is just so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's so deep, and I mean, it was really intimidating at first. I felt anyway, with the amount of information just got thrown at you.
Oh yeah.
But once, I mean, after a few hours and you clear that hurdle, it just becomes addictive as well.
Are you historically a Metal Gear guy? Mm-hmm. Oh, you are. Okay, so I actually came into this one being like the Metal Gear series only sort of grabbed me here and there, but this one completely hooked me. I think because the story kind of pulled back a little bit.
Oh, I've always been a fan of the big boss side. Like Metal Gear 3 was my favorite.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that.
Everyone loves 3.
Yeah, 3 just it was it came because I think Sons of Liberty was a bit of a letdown for people, switching to Raiden, and even I, as a kid, I wasn't too happy about it for some reason. Realizing that it was his game, not Snake's.
Right. It's to give you a better perspective of Snake as a character, because you're not playing as him.
Yeah, it didn't really.
Raiden's
Running
an
around
allegory
naked,
for the
holding my
player.
groin and doing cartwheels and stuff. It didn't really.
So
really give me
so
a-
how do you play games while you're working on a TV show? Do you bring a PS4 into your trailer?
Well, I ain't the lead. She can't play games. She ain't got enough. Rose ain't
so
got enough time. I come in and do all my scenes in the morgue.
See,
I've
that's
got
a-
all week to do what I want.
That's really interesting because I think a lot of people they want to be the lead, but you found that perfect balance
Yeah.
of being like, no, man, I'm gonna hang back in the cut and
Yeah,
play
you
PS4.
come in. I literally only stick to the morgue. So
Yeah.
we'll do all my episode scenes in a day, and then I've got another 6 to do what I want.
So you don't get a lot of sunlight on set.
No,
No,
I'm
you're-
never on location. But that's a good thing because in Vancouver, after like July or August, you don't want to be on location. It's just cold and rainy. So the other guys, they have to stand out and do all the investigations, and I just stay in the studio.
Is this like? I mean, this is far and away the biggest role you've had so far. But is this like? Did you ever think that one day you'd grow up and you'd be a professional actor and you'd spend most of your time surrounded by fake dead bodies?
I sort of did.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. Even when we did Comic Con, I had this was my only role. I had no right to ever think I'd be doing Comic Con or
Right.
doing IGN or do any of that stuff. But there was this arrogance where I kind of like sort of did, or ignorance where I was like, yeah, it's going to happen eventually. Just while I was not booking work, living at my parents' house. And then when it happened, I was like, what were you worried about?
Yeah.
Easy, done.
Kind of weird how life turns out.
Yeah.
You know, like we got. This is on my desk. You know.
This do-bag.
Like I
Yeah.
was like.
It looks more realistic than the 97 special
That's
edition.
It really
that's
does.
not saying much. Yeah, like I show up to work and I'm like, morning, Forlaw, morning, Zuckus.
Yep.
And I sit down and type on a computer about like, oh yeah, we're gonna talk about zombies on a show. It's like, why?
Yeah, when we start the show every week, we go to our desks and we grab handfuls of toys and carry them over here. Like it's, these are the lives we're actually living.
What's wrong with everything?
What have we done?
All right. Anyway, so moving on. Do we want to take some questions? Or
Yeah,
should
we hopped on Twitter. You can use the hashtag up at noon, just like a bunch of people did yesterday, and we asked questions for Rahul, and we got some really good ones. We'll fire through them real quick. We'll do a
Okay.
little lightning round. Egotastic FT says, if you became a zombie for realsy, I don't know what that means. Which cast member of iZombie would you eat first?
Oh, Malcolm plays Detective Babineau. He's done like 50 jobs before he was an actor. He's been a limo driver. He's worked at McDonald's. He's just like the list goes
That's
on.
some good meat.
That means
That's it, yeah.
The best, like that's like those Kobe beef cows, but they're like, it's like if you send a cow to college, it's even more succulent.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. If you eat his brain, you inherit so many different. Like you're a Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
You get so many different traits and qualities.
It's like eating Kirby.
At Magathorpe says, any memorable pranks from the set?
Oh, no, not really. We're too scared.
They
to
haven't
do
found
pranks.
them yet.
We are like we have so little time. If you like doing a prank and wasting time is just frowned upon. But I always draw dirty stuff. I'm always holding a clipboard.
Like dongs?
Like dongs.
Yeah.
I
I was looking for which word we could say.
I always
say
draw
dongs.
dongs.
Panguses?
We say
Pangus
dongs
still
is good.
okay? We can say Pangus? Okay, we can say Pangus on this show.
We got a thumbs up.
producer says
Thumbs
yeah.
up for Pangus.
Cool. All right. So next, Gary the Third says, "How do you get your beard so full and manly?"
I knew there'd be a big question.
It's a good beard.
It's I don't know. I want
grew
to
it
say
yourself?
it's like a genetic thing, maybe. I guess because I'm Indian. Indian hair is supposed to be like it.
Yeah.
Like that's what people get for their weaves and stuff. So I'm guessing be Indian.
I didn't know that. People get Indian hair for their weaves?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there are
It's a-
loads
it's
of
a
like there are loads of
documentary,
kids
good
in like
hair.
Calcutta that like are bald because they're shaving their heads and selling their hair and.
Side note, I feel extremely insignificant standing next to you
how's
two
that
guys
working out for you
with
over
your
there, Brian?
hair. Like, what the hell? Well, first of all, you can't grow a beard, so this
Yeah,
is
well,
like
I'm doing okay.
unbelievable. Anyway, we got another question from Phil Addison 4. He said, how would he rank his top 3 zombie movies?
Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
28 Days Later,
Yeah.
and then Night of the Living Dead.
The
Nice.
original,
The original
black and white one?
black and
That's
white.
such a great film.
That's a good lineup.
It's an awesome
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with that. That's
It's such a dark film, like the fact that it just ends with racism.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I thought
you
zombies
can't-
were the problem, but nope, it's white people
spoilers,
again.
yo. But no, if you've never seen the original Night of the Living Dead, the original zombie movie, it's actually royalty free. You can watch it on YouTube right
Yeah, it's
after
for
this show.
sure.
Watch some weird old black and white stuff. All right. Greg Kolisnik says, what video game character would you play in a movie?
Oh, Joel from The Last of Us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Just because I get to wear flannel, right? And
Yeah.
I don't have to shave.
You can't get away from the zombie stuff, can you?
Oh yeah, that's
It's always there.
damn.
Those weren't zombies. Those were
Raiden.
those were angry cauliflowers.
Raiden's good.
I'll play Ryder.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Because I just trashed him, so why
You
not?
keep the
That
beard
works.
too.
They're like, all right, you're gonna have
And
to
finally,
get naked and do
I think we
cartwheels.
got one more. This is my favorite one. What's Raul's favorite Pokemon? This is from the Beta Bruh.
Squirtle. Only because I like saying Squirtle.
Yeah, it's a good
Or
word.
Charizard.
Charizard.
Yeah.
Squirtle.
All right.
Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
I always like Snorlax. Somebody did a thing the other day where apparently, like in the newer Pokemon games, Snorlax is standing, and he's been slowly getting up over the course of like 20-something years. Like each version of him is just slightly up a little higher. It just takes a long time. He's like a sloth. Anyway, that's 6 or 7 questions with
Yeah,
Rahul
whatever.
Kohli from iZombie.
Read the headline, whatever we wrote on there.
Yeah, whatever we wrote on
counted,
there.
maybe.
Thanks
Did
for
you?
watching. Let's
Yeah.
get to the big.
Okay,
the big
so
stuff here.
yeah, real cool stuff going on. There's a new trailer for Star Wars Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That's not the title. It's just Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
You've seen it?
You're a Star Wars guy.
Massive.
Yeah. So you've woken up early and you saw this and everything. So we're on the same page here.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've scrubbed through a little
Now,
bit.
were you just to get the homework down here? Were you a big fan of Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Really?
I had issues. I had small issues. I'm one of those Star Wars fans that swears by it, changed my life, but mainly trashes it more than praises it. It's really weird, even though I love it so much.
It's a love-hate relationship. type
Yeah.
It's like buying an old house. It's a fixer-upper as a pastime.
I
you
like
know?
that, yeah. I only like really 2 Star Wars films out of 7.
Which ones?
Empire and A New Hope.
Wow, you don't like Jedi?
Jedi I do, but not as much as the other 2.
Man, this is bad.
But
This
Force
is gonna
Awakens, I was
affect our
happy. I
friendship.
think it's a great entry into the new
Yeah.
series and stuff.
Yeah.
So what was your take on Rogue One? Are you more or less hyped than you were for Force Awakens?
I think I'm more hyped for Rogue One.
Interesting.
I think there's so much more potential, and also it's the era where we've had prequels, and we've had the sequel, but this is the era that delves. This is the same era that we fell in love with.
Right.
This is Battle of Yavin. This is around this time period. That's why Rebels is doing so well, I guess, because you're seeing Stormtroopers.
Yeah, they're filling in the blanks between
Yeah.
a lot of the areas that we really did love, you know. And I think that was my issue with the prequels from the jump. Besides the fact that they're not very well made movies, sorry, is that it answered a lot of questions that no one ever really asked. Whereas this is leading you right into the events of A New Hope. I mean, this is like probably just a couple weeks or a couple months before, right?
I mean, to call this a prequel feels almost like it's a disservice. You know, it's obviously close enough that the rebels are in the Yavin 4 base, but like it feels like a side story. You know, like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like, oh, what if Chewbacca was a cool teenage Wookiee and Yoda was not 900, he was only 800 years old. You're like, oh wow, it's everybody's the same but different. But here are things that like we're seeing this from a different angle. You know, like seeing the Death Star as a plan is whatever, but seeing it getting built, like built,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Also,
Yeah,
Mon Mothma's
That casting's insane.
Yeah,
man.
the casting is great. And a lot of this stuff is really cool because I feel like tonally it feels very bleak, and hurting.
Was
like,
that the Homestead? By the way, that looks.
This looks like the BART train station. But yeah, there's some really cool stuff going on in this, and I think it's because this is not like the Force Awakens trailer felt victorious and it felt heroic and triumphant and celebratory. Like a bunch of new characters were coming out to fight for good, and this movie looks bleak. This is about the Empire wrecking stuff,
Well, I
just
think that-
hurting people.
I've said this, but I think that The Force Awakens, like a lot of people are like, it's derivative, it's not, you know, there are things wrong with it. We were like crying like babies when we saw it because I think it was pretty much, it was the reminder that like, this is in good hands, you know, for all of its shortcomings. It was a good movie, like it worked, you know, and the prequels were such a kind of like, such a like weird bastardization and it was so kind of like, this isn't really what I wanted. And then this was kind of like, hey, it's familiar, but it's like, it's kind of safe. It's sort of like, hey, it's okay.
Oh, definitely. I think the name Star Wars was kind of dragged through the mud during the 90s and the early noughties because of the prequels and Force Awakens. I think the biggest victory from it was oh, this is great. This is a
Yeah.
great
And that
re-entry
was-
into the franchise.
That was Star Wars for everybody, and this feels like a Star Wars movie for Star Wars fans. Like
Oh,
this
definitely,
feels
yeah.
like Dark
Yeah.
Forces. This feels like, I mean, there's a guy in a Grand Admiral outfit, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
the
I
fact
actually
that,
thought she said Jan Ors when I first at 6 in the morning. I thought she said Jan Ors as her name, and I was like,
Yep.
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
I hope that Kyle Katarn shows up
Same,
in some
same.
sense.
I have
Just walk by.
I have a really good friend named Tony Stamola who I became friends with out here in San Francisco, and we actually grew up a town away from each other, but we didn't know each other growing up. And when we became friends out here, we found out that we went to a bunch of the same parties, but my perspective on those parties was completely different because I was there. And then he told me his side of the story of being like, I got there 3 hours before you did, and it was crazy. Like by the time you showed up, there was a fight, but here's why that fight happened. And that's what I was thinking watching this trailer this morning, being like, this is all the stuff I love, but from a slightly different angle, just a little bit before I got there, and learning how all that came together. And I think that's like, there's this weird sort of hopelessness to this trailer because I think a lot of bad stuff happens to a lot of these good characters, and it's to pass that baton. If Force Awakens felt like Avengers, I feel like this is kind of like Ant-Man. It's smaller, it's more intimate, and it's quite literally a heist movie about a thief who got in some trouble, but they're going to hire her to take down some people that's even worse than she is.
I'm getting Escape from New York vibes from it.
Interesting.
Because, like, they're like, hey, quit messing around. Like, you're in handcuffs here, so you can either we lock you up or you do this thing for us. And it's kind of crazy, and we don't want to do it, but maybe you could put your little set of skills to good use. And like, oh, fine, I guess I'll help the rebellion. It's like, I kind of into that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we pulled some images from it. Let's go through these real quick and point out the stuff that's really worth getting excited about. Here's the new lady. What's her name? I totally don't. I can only remember so many Star Wars characters.
Jan Ors.
Jan Ors. Someone said
Something like Jan Ors.
Jin Ass or something.
I don't think it's Jin Ass.
I think it's Jin Ass.
Yeah, it's definitely not Jin Ass.
We should have maybe researched a little bit.
Yep.
We'll have action figures over on our desk in no time. But like,
Stephen Hawking's wife.
yeah, there we go. What's her?
Erso.
Jean Erso.
Jin Erso.
Jin Erso.
Yeah.
Erso.
So here she is in this, in this costume she snuck into to get into the Death Star, probably to steal the plans or sneak into something. Because she is a rebel.
Is that a TIE pilot?
That looks like
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Or a
it's
shadow
like it.
trooper? I don't know. We haven't seen.
It might be one of those weird Death Star officers.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
the
there's-
TIE pilot will have those like they have that breathing
Oh, the
apparatus,
thing, yeah.
But that's attached to the helmet, so maybe.
Yep.
And then there's those things on her back, which look like batons or something. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's maybe the batons that are being passed.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, this is last shot in the trailer, which is cool. But okay.
It's got that Empire vibe on that with it, when he.
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
It's
that
got that.
spin.
And this is obviously a bad man.
We see him walking through the ocean
Yeah.
with this beautiful coat, which is just sad to see.
Yeah, he's gonna get that all. He's getting his cape all wet. I like the capes. The cape is a cool thing. I feel
Yeah.
like it's kind of a cool carryover from like the really extravagant costumes of the prequel era and into this more kind of utilitarian, like just fascist look that the Empire has.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, we're switching to olive drab uniforms soon, but you can wear your cape until then. Okay? How's that sound? Then I like this because here's some new soldiers in the background. These are
Yeah.
like tank troopers or something. Like they're in this weird tank.
Batmobile.
Is that the Batmobile? Is that the Tumbler?
It does look like the
Are
Tumbler.
they just in the Tumbler? Are they just? Also, can I just point out that front and center, this is just a regular, good old-fashioned stormtrooper
Yep.
in a
Yeah.
new movie, and we haven't seen that ever.
Yeah, we haven't seen that
That hasn't been a thing since
1983.
yeah.
And also that helmet is the A New Hope mold, I'm pretty sure, which is different from the Empire
Interesting.
mold.
Yeah.
That looks like the old one, right?
Yeah.
With the gray or the gray
Yeah.
thing in the corner.
So there's a bunch of different, bunch of new troopers in this, and I saw some people sort of being like, well, how come these things aren't in the other movies? But the reality is that the Empire knows how to accessorize. When they show up on Hoth, they bring snowtroopers. When they show up on Endor, they bring scout troopers. When they show up on Tatooine, there's sand troopers. There's different costumes for each thing, and we are seeing some new environments in this film, such as that weird sort of like jungle, palm tree, beachfront environment.
What I really like here is in the background, if you look in the upper right-hand corner, there's Aurebesh on this sign. Like that's a business. And I
Yeah.
feel like there's like signage in Star Wars is kind of sparse. Like it's sort of, you don't see a lot of it, but I love the idea of this being like, what does that say? Oh, it says Denny's. Like that's it. All right, and then this, of course, is the money shot in the
Yeah.
trailer. This is so, oh my God. This is something I feel like we've always wanted.
Yeah, this is sort of their their Normandy sequence, right? Which
Yeah.
you've probably read about or played in numerous video games. But I think it's really fascinating that we're seeing AT-ATs in a new environment. Now we did see them on Hoth, and we did see them like sort of deep in the cut on Endor. in the Battle of Endor. But this is them just on a beach wrecking shop. There were leaked set photos from this film where it showed stormtroopers after they'd been killed just kind of floating in the water. So this is going to be a big, massive, terrible battle scene for the rebels.
Yeah. All right, and then of course there's them losing and not having a great time, which is always sort of, that's kind of nice, you know, like it's kind of cool to see that.
Is that a really tall Jawa?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. There's just big Jawas.
There's a couple characters like that in The Force Awakens in the Jakku market scene, by the way. They're just like, dudes wearing hoods, and I'm like, are those Jawas? And I'm like, no, everyone can wear a hood in Star Wars.
I like how
or they're baby Siths.
But yeah, like look at that. That's just, that looks bleak.
I love how grim. Yeah, I'm liking the dark.
Yeah,
vibes
things are
of
not
this.
going to go well for the heroes in this film. I really feel like a lot of people are going to get hurt.
I think my favorite thing about all this, though, is just the amount of visual information that's in this trailer compared to Force Awakens. Like, Force Awakens, we didn't know we were getting. It was completely a surprise, which was cool, but rewatching that movie, there's also less to just pick up on. Like, there's, I mean, you've got Mascanata's scene, but, like, Star Wars, so much of it is, like, really the depth of each and every shot, and the fact that you could look in the background and be like, is that a dinosaur? What is that? Is that guy drunk? Like, what is that a lamp or is that a robot? Like, what are those things? And this has all of that. We're going to be picking this apart for ages, just based on the trailer. There's more to unpack. So, and then of course there's this old thing where they're just putting
another film about the Death Star.
Just putting a nice hat on that old guy there. I like that. I think it's a cool thing.
That was one of my favorite shots
it's awesome.
from the trailer.
Well, because the way this shot was established, it almost looked like one of those wipes that you do see in Star Wars when a scene changes. And it also was great to show the scale of a Star Destroyer
against the Death Star.
right up against the Death Star. A lot of people were kind of like, I mean, to me, when Revenge of the Sith ended and they showed the early framework of the Death Star, which I believe was like 20 years before, it was like, wow, did it take 20 years to build this thing? Well, yeah. It's not like a skyscraper. It's a city. It's a moon. Yeah, they built a moon in 20 years.
Yeah.
That's huge.
All right. So this is cool. This is good. Star Wars Rogue One. Yeah, I'm on board.
Definitely.
You down?
Yeah, I'm totally in. I will say that I wasn't immediately grabbed in the same way I was with the Force Awakens trailer. I cried watching that. But it took me a couple viewings to be like, there's a lot more subtlety here, and I'm digging into it, and I really like the tone.
Yeah.
We saw some Emperor Royal Guards, which was on there too, which excites me because of the possibility for cameos from different characters of that era.
I just want weird cameos. I want them to bring back characters like, well, let's get into this. This is a good week for Star Wars in that we've got a new trailer, but it's a sad week in that we lost some, not Bosk. Bosk is fine. Bosk is, you can play with him if you want. You can get Bosk out, I don't mind. The actor who played Bib Fortuna.
Yeah, Eric Bowersfield.
Yeah, and he was the voice of Bib Fortuna and the voice of Admiral Akbar.
Yeah.
And if you don't know these characters, you see them probably every week on our desk when we set them all up. Here they are. We have...
This is my actual Bib Fortuna collection.
This is your actual problem.
I have severe brain damage.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. So here it is. I'm just exposing. This is exposure therapy for me. So here's all my toys.
I like this one because he's got like an iPad and like a vape pen. He's like just the most.
It's an app.
Millennial.
Yeah, this stuff's great. And I love these characters. And like that's the thing. Like for some reason, I'm sure you've done the same thing, Raul. Is just sort of latching on to weird characters in these films. Because after you've seen them a billion times, you can get out of the way the fact that everyone loves Luke Skywalker and everybody loves how villainous Darth Vader is. But there's a lot of characters that make Star Wars what Star Wars is, that aren't just the heroes on the box cover, and these are to me two of the most iconic ones. Bib Fortuna being this like weird gatekeeper to Jabba's palace, which is easily the weirdest 20 minutes in any of the Star Wars films. It's a mini heist movie in that these guys show up to this drug dealer's house to steal his wall art, who happens to be their friend. And it's just a very strange film, and then they go and help and fight with bears and all this other stuff like that. It's a weird movie.
I mean, the first thing, like the dude, like he's got like squids on his head, and he starts creeping on a droid.
Yeah,
like he's all like rubbing R2's dome, and it's like what?
He's got this weird little hand.
You never got subtitles with him, am I right?
Not really. Yeah,
when he first speaks, so you only just get the voice and you just take that in.
Yeah,
you're not focusing on subs with him. He was
Jabba no pada.
And it's weird. I actually feel bad for this guy because he's a Twi'lek, and then moments later you see a bunch of the female Twi'leks who are gorgeous, but male Twi'leks just get the short end of the genetic stick on that one, you know. So I have a short, sad story about Eric Bowersfield. I was at New York Comic-Con last year, and I was walking around with Andrew Goldfarb, who works here at IGN. And Comic-Con, you know, as you've been, there's like little just alleys and booths and everything where someone will be signing an autograph, and you look over and you're like, is that Todd McFarlane? Like, is that Hulk Hogan? Like, just weird little things. And we walk by, and I heard someone say, "It's a trap." And I look over, and there's like a 94-year-old man sitting in a chair. And I'm like, oh my God. And I look at all the pictures around him, and it's like, that's the voice of Admiral Akbar and Bib Fortuna. And I was like, I never do autographs or anything like that. But I'm like, this guy's very old. I don't know how many more chances I'll have to meet a guy who voiced 2 of my favorite Star Wars characters of all time. So what did I say? I was like, well, it's really busy today, and there's sort of a line. I'll come back tomorrow.
No, I think you said he's at every show.
Yeah. I'm like, he'll be at every one of these things. You know, like in the same way Lou Ferrigno is basically just lives at Comic-Cons.
Between conventions,
Yeah,
yeah.
at conventions, every single one. Eric Bowersfield was at this one, and I was like, I'll get him tomorrow.
Well,
he wasn't there tomorrow.
No. So,
and then he passed away this week.
moral of the story is,
Seize the day.
yeah.
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 Yep.
When you see an opportunity, grab it. When you see somebody you've always wanted to meet, say hello. Because those opportunities go away. Life is short and fleeting, and all we'll have is our memories.
I did that with Edward James Olmos. He
Really?
was at WonderCon, and the reason I was shocked was on his booth. He was just there, and there was no line. So I could have just been like, all right.
Are you a big Battlestar Galactica guy?
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And what else was he did? Oh, Blade Runner.
Yeah. Of
Miami
course.
Vice,
Miami Vice.
Stand and Deliver.
Dexter.
So yeah, that's right.
But yeah, he was just there in the middle of the booth, and I was too, because there was no one there. I felt embarrassed going over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should have.
Huh. Well, next time you see him, just go get his autograph.
I will now.
Yeah, you got to do that.
After that story.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have an ongoing problem in America, which is that they keep doing like real weird stuff to the food here. They just keep messing it up,
Now,
putting stuff on it.
Rahul, right before we brought you upstairs to do this show, you were talking about how this is your first time coming to San Francisco, and
Yes.
you're like, I heard the food is really good here, but I really want to go to McDonald's.
I want to get a Big Mac, yeah.
And I was like, what? I mean, you have McDonald's in LA, right?
I always go McDonald's in every city.
Really?
I don't know why. Like, it's
get
like
that.
my home base.
I do that with
You know what I
Seven- I
mean?
do
It's
that
like
with,
foreign territory, McDonald's.
I do that with 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Like I like 7-Eleven because it's like you go to other city, like you go to 7-Eleven in Tokyo, you can buy like hentai and Gundams and like whiskey. It's amazing.
So
Frozen squids. It's
McDonald's
best.
is oddly, they're sort of grounded in their own reality. I know behind us is a picture of a burger that has 2 bottom buns and secret sauce. Yeah, I know, it doesn't make sense. No one's been able to figure that one out in decades. But some of their competitors, we're having a weird thing with fast food where I feel like McDonald's is trying to rein it in a little bit and be like, we're healthy. We're good. You can come here for a good meal. The other guys are like, hey man, if this is the end of fast food, we're going out guns blazing.
Yeah, this is war.
Such as Burger King, Burger King is just insane. It's just crazy people. This is their new burger. It's called their angriest Whopper. Because
Literally called it. They say it's angry.
Yeah. So they had an angry Whopper, and that meant it was hot and spicy. This is even angrier. This is not a weird Photoshop trick. That actually has a red bun. They baked hot sauce into the bun, and there's jalapenos, and there's also some sort of, there's onion rings, like chunks of onion rings. As always, this is a press photo made of clay and not real food, but if you look up the real thing, it's nightmarish. I'll spare you because
I
it's
don't like
lunchtime.
it when food looks engorged. It's upsetting.
So I don't know what's going on with this. Why they're having this gauntlet against anger
the-
using their burger?
Who hurt the burger? Why is it so mad?
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Like the
on the
next
way
morning.
on the
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That's gonna tear you apart.
Then there's on a more colorful, fun side. There's
this is the Sriracha Curly Fry Burger. Now this is Jack's. This is Jack in the Box. This is their munchie meal. It's served after 9 p.m. when you're good and blazed. And I think
this looks
that
like
they are,
Super Smash Brothers, the food.
Yeah, they are not hiding the fact at all that you eat this food incredibly inebriated late at night. So this comes with sriracha sauce, curly fries, because why not? 2 tacos, because hey, they had those. Coca-Cola Freestyle, which is when you find one of those machines that you can make literally any soda out of. Have you ever seen one of those?
No, yeah, I was gonna ask you what.
Coca-Cola Freestyle is a giant machine that has every soda flavor in it, and you can just combine them and be like,
Oh, you
I
just
want,
hit all the buttons.
Yeah,
It's got a touch screen though.
yeah, I want Coca-Cola
Oh,
Mountain Dew High C.
It's something out of Fifth Element. It's
Oh,
bizarre.
you guys in America do it right.
We don't know what we're doing.
I don't
do
know
it
about
right.
that.
And then in the corner is these half C fries, which is basically the leavings of the bottom of curly fries and regular fries.
Give
and
me
they
the
throw it all
bits.
together. Because if you're drunk, who cares, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going
That's
on with
a nice
that.
way of saying
this
hi.
is $6. What?
All right.
After 9 p.m., so you can get that. Coming up
Well,
next.
you also have to face vampires if you go out after dark, so it's a toss-up.
Now this is Carl's Jr. Midnight Moonshine Burger, because nothing goes better with drive-through than alcohol.
Oh no! Alcohol that makes you blind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So if you ever like drinking stuff that the guys from Duck Dynasty made in their backyard, and you also wanted a burger at the same time, this one's for you. Plus, it comes with, I think, a lot of horse hay.
You can also get the lovely crystal meth icy smoothie, which is just sprinkled with some hot glass right there.
And if you bring in an empty jar of moonshine into Carl's Jr., they will arrest you for free.
Do they serve it in the mason jar? Because that would be really...
The burger?
Like they just give you a jar, and they're like, pull the hamburger out of the jar. All right, fair enough.
Next, we've got the Red Robin Ramen Burger, which looks like a Garbage Pail Kids drawing, or a threat.
It looks like that part in the Lost Boys where they feed them worms.
You know when you're and your significant other's like, I really want a Japanese food tonight, and you go, yeah, I know, let's go to Red Robin.
It looks like a fried brain.
Yeah,
right? You
this
guys
looks like
had
a prop from your show.
when you guys were like, making comments about the other burgers, I kind of kept quiet because I was kind of digging all of them. I was like, all right, where do I need to go? Okay, cool. This one's lost me, I'm afraid.
This has some what are those, like carrots and some kind of slaw. I don't know how you'll eat this in your car. Like that's just a disaster. So yeah, that's a thing you can get. And finally, this is the lowest you can ever pay for steak. The $1.99 buttery steak burger from Checkers and Rallies, the restaurant you know you're at when you can hear gunshots. I don't know who likes butter on steak, or why you would spend less than $2 for steak, and also get onion rings. Seem to be a thing. Like the Onion Ring Corporation won a bet this year, and it got their stuff everywhere. So these are the 5 items available at fast food places everywhere right now. If you eat them all in one day, show us a picture of your face. I'd love to see that. Tweet at us using the hashtag.
Welcome to America.
Oh, I love this. I may try all of them in one day.
Yeah, well, you may die in hours afterwards.
I ate a black
so
cheeseburger when I went to Japan 2 years ago. Burger King, who is just like, they're like, what if we made our food look like clown food more than the clown people do down the street? That was horrific because they used squid ink it was like a squid ink teriyaki sauce. It's just weird. It's just weird. Like we're in a weird era where you can get a really good burger pretty much anywhere. Like there's good high-end burger places. But I think people just really want a good carnival when it comes to lunchtime.
Didn't Burger King try and hit up McDonald's so that they could do something?
Yeah, they wanted to do like a.
Are Burger King like going out of business? Like, what's the hard sell?
That's the question, right? Like people are going like, well, this stuff's killing us. We should eat healthier, and other companies are being like, no, let's be who we are. Let's be true to ourselves. So all these guys are actually they're being true to their roots and their origins more than ever before. So I don't have answers for you, Rahul. It's a scary nightmare world we live in, but you can eat your way out of it.
I think it's like fight or flight. It's just kind of, some of them want to keep going, other ones, I don't know.
Yep.
So, why the hell not? Let's talk about Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot is
Not really.
that's okay.
See you a lot later.
I would love it. That would be the best exit.
It's Naughty Dog, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
then that's
it's all
great.
right.
That's
No,
a
I
bit-
mean,
It's very, very pre-Uncharted, pre-Last of Us
Yeah.
Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
pre-Jack and Daxter.
So here's the thing about Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot turns 20 years old this year. And there have been he's almost old enough to drink.
I want to see his
wasn't even
fake
a
ID.
joke. It'd be really weird to see that Bandicoot get drunk. But yeah, so earlier, I think it was at E3 or Sony's thing, something or other. This Sony fellow, was that Sean something? I forget his name.
Yep.
I should have written that down. But he came
Sean
out.
something is
Yeah,
his full name.
He came out in this Crash Bandicoot shirt, which is like, usually they don't do that kind of thing by accident, when they spend like months and months preparing for a press event. They don't just like let the guy stumble out of bed and be like,
you'll see, like-
hey, sorry I'm late, guys. I had to stop off at Jack in the Box to get
You'll
a
see
munchie
Reggie
box."
from Nintendo show up with like a Metroid pen, and he's like, I'm just a big fan of the Metroid series. And like, can we get a new one? And he's like, just a big fan, and I love pins. And you're like, where's the game? So this is the same sort of scenario, but this is not a pin. This is very front and center.
Yeah.
So what is it? Are you just daydreaming? Do you want Crash
No,
Bandicoot
I
to
think
come
that
back?
it seems very likely that we are going to have some announcement about Crash Bandicoot, but let's be realistic here. Crash Bandicoot is sort of dated. Like let's take a look here. He reminds me of like Poochie from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
A little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog and kind of Dexter Holland from The Offspring all rolled into one.
He looks like if the angriest Whopper was a rat.
Yeah. I mean, nobody is really pulling off jean shorts with no shirt in 2016 except for John Cena.
Does he wear jorts? I didn't realize
He's
that.
got little jorts on.
They're going to need to modernize this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
is it going to be an MMORPG or like a Telltale doing it?
I mean, are
or-
they going to throw it to Neil Druckmann and give it the modern Naughty Dog treatment, where he's like he has to has to like lose a loved one. Like he's
Yeah.
gotta kill people in the night. I mean,
You're implying that he had a loved one.
yeah. So I think that if we're gonna give Crash a reboot, they should really explore the series' roots, which is an actual Bandicoot.
Is that what a real Bandicoot
That's
looks
what a
like?
Bandicoot
I didn't
looks
know
like.
that was a real thing.
Is that its
Yeah.
nose or is it throwing up? I can't tell with that grass.
Yeah, I mean, he could be doing both. I don't know what their
It
vomit
looks like it
looks
has a
so it's
dog's
hard to
pangus
tell.
for a face.
That's true. That's true, Brian.
See, now seeing that's made the actual Crash Bandicoot just look worse.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
you didn't even bother to draw it properly.
Now, yeah, I mean, they could. But that's the thing is, we're at a point now where, like back in 1996, it was hard to make realistic Bandicoots using the quad core processing
Yep.
energies or whatever. But now it's like we get photorealistic games. We got hair physics and things like
You
that.
want an actual.
I want the new Crash Bandicoot to look like that. That's how I want
I would
it.
like to have a Crash Bandicoot game where you are an actual Bandicoot
Yep.
and you are escaping from a laboratory where scientists think you're a regular science rat, but you're not. You're a Bandicoot. So there's my idea for how to reboot Crash Bandicoot.
That's your idea. You didn't even come up with the game.
Crash Bandicoot.
Physics is physics and,
No, I want like
destructibles.
I want like a.
I like that.
I want the Phantom Pain, but you're a Bandicoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're getting out.
That
but
sounds
David
like
Hayter's
something.
going to voice it.
Yeah. I've got to eat these apricots, otherwise they're gonna catch me from starvation.
That would be so tragic. Oh man. Poor
If
David
if
Hayter.
David Hayter voiced Crash Bandicoot, I think
Yeah.
worse things could happen. So my question to you, dear audience, what would you do with Crash Bandicoot? How would you reboot him? Like,
Yeah.
what approach would you take? I think that we're at a point where everything gets recycled and rehashed. There's no more new ideas. So either you do kind of just the same thing over again, or you get real weird. And the real weird part is where it gets fun. So
Yep.
aside from it being a literal, actual Bandicoot, can we pull up that image again of the Bandicoot just because it's fun to look at? Look at that. Look at that guy. Look at him. Yeah.
He looks really terrified.
This looks like if my cat melted. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot. What would you do? How would you reboot him? And should he come back? Let us know in the comments or on Twitter or whatever. Or just
Yeah. Also,
say it out loud.
why would you do that?
Yeah.
How about that? Let's start with that question.
'Cause it's
Why
funny.
would you ever do that?
Because people know what they know what Crash Bandicoot is. They don't know what a Bandicoot is. All right, moving on. Have you tried virtual reality?
In a T-Mobile, I put on the Samsung thing.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I couldn't queue up at E3 for the. Yeah, that didn't really count.
Yeah.
Because E3, the booths for PSVR
Yeah.
and all that, they were too long.
They're just they have there's an Oculus booth at pretty much every trade show now. They have one at CES. There's probably going to be one at PAX. There was even one at GDC right here in San Francisco. And I'm very hesitant to try. I've tried VR a bunch in the office, which is odd because it puts a lot of faith in the hygiene of my coworkers, which I by all means shouldn't have because they're the kind of people that have pictures of actual bandicoots on their laptops. But trying VR is the only way to truly appreciate VR. But also trying VR means that you are putting on a headset that some of the grossest people in the world might have worn.
Yeah. So about that demo you did at T-Mobile.
I did it at T-Mobile. Yeah,
not the
and it
best-
was just in the middle of
Yeah.
Hollywood. So
So I mean, everyone, there was a time when it was like, oh, computer viruses. Oh no, they're going to affect your computer. We're at a point where the computers can actually give you real viruses, and we have some of them right here. What's the number one most likely kind of disease you think you'd get from a VR
Far and
headset?
away, pink eye.
yeah.
Now, pink eye is gross. You can get it from a number of things, such as if you fart on someone's pillow. That's a cool prank if you hate someone, but
Yeah.
you're in their bed.
It's better known as conjunctivitis. It's a real thing. It's very, very contagious.
I don't know
So-
what kind of show you thought we were doing today, but here it is.
Yes, it's kind of it. I want to see somebody farting in a VR headset and see what that looks like.
Pink eye is disgusting. It's also extremely contagious. If you've ever held a controller at GameStop and been like, that's gross, kids are disgusting, imagine wearing it on your eyes that
yeah.
you used to see. Number 2, head lice. Big problem with that. I got that when I was 5 because I went in the woods.
Is that why they shaved your head?
Yeah, it's been like that ever since. I've had head lice for 30 years.
Keep coming back.
Head lice is one of those things where like you can give it to an entire football stadium full
Yeah,
of
if
people
you're a
just by
jerk.
showing up. Yeah,
Through your eyebrows.
yeah,
So they'll nest in here.
yeah. But it's also got that weird.
Oh, the strap
Bane-
on the back.
It looks like Bane's helmet.
Yeah.
it just goes over the.
I was actually just gonna say, like,
over the top.
What if Bane gave head lice to that entire stadium in Dark Knight Rises? What if he came out and went, Gotham,
I don't think everybody else tried his.
go on down to
That would
Walgreens.
probably
They have
help.
special shampoos.
Number 3, syphilis.
Really?
I'm not going to look that one up.
I don't know how syphilis works.
I don't either. I think
I don't think that's how.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
can't
think
get,
it-
can you get face syphilis?
I mean, that might be some other peripheral that's coming on down the road that'll give you syphilis, but I
Okay.
don't think we're there yet with the Vive.
While we're here,
VR
watch out for
headsets.
syphilis, another disease I've had since I was 5. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true.
No.
God. Okay. Number 4, ski face.
It's not a...
Not a disease, but when you wear a VR helmet for a long time and you take it off,
right,
it
that
looks
one-
like you've been skiing.
I thought you were going to say like a staph infection or something.
Oh, well,
Ski-
yeah, we can put
ski
that on there.
face. All right, staph infections and then ski face. The most embarrassing disorder you can have temporarily, where you get ski face.
So it's basically when you have goggles on for a long time.
Yeah, and then you have the.
But it's kind of reverse ski face because it gets all red in here instead of red around here. Like instead of having the wind whip at your face, it's just like a suction cup on your eyes.
Reverse ski face.
Reverse ski face. And number 5, which you came up with, eye gunk.
Yeah, just eye gunk.
What a terrible disease.
Because if you wake up, like, that's going to be inside that oculus. You share it, you're touching other people's eye gunk.
Yeah.
And that leads to cataract. I
Yeah.
don't know if it does. Cataract. I'm just throwing it in there.
Yeah, eye gunk, leading cause of cataracts, and VR, leading cause of ski face. So the future is bleak.
And that's 5 diseases you can get from VR right now from 3 non-doctors.
Yep.
We don't know anything about health.
True scientists. VR, can you eat it? Find out next time on Up at Noon.
Let's talk about The Walking Dead.
Do we
Are we
have
gonna
to?
do that? Are we jumping right in
Do we
there?
have to talk about The Walking Dead?
Can we?
Wanna talk about The Walking Dead?
Rivals.
Uh-oh.
No, we're not rivals.
No, you're not rivals.
Cast of iZombie reviews Walking Dead. Sucks.
The Walking Dead season finale aired on Sunday night.
And it's finally over, and we can all watch other shows
That's
now.
it. They solved it.
It's-
They killed all the
They
zombies.
beat the zombies.
No, not even close. It
was all a dream.
Yeah, it was another cliffhanger ending, which is sort of what fans are used to at this point, which is odd because I think if you're on board for this show and you're still there, you don't really need the thing to keep, like, a cliffhanger ending feels very season 1, season 2, season 3 of a show, but to do that at the end of season 6 is kind of like, hey, dude, like, I'm here. I wasn't going anywhere. Like, I'm here. Don't worry. I'm sticking around.
I bought the shirt.
So 2 weeks in a row, there was an off-screen, painful sort of either a death or a gunshot or a bludgeoning.
Somebody fell over.
yeah.
You couldn't really tell.
You
It was
couldn't
just
tell.
It was a noise, really. Just a,
Blood splatter, fade to black, credits. The difference between 2 weeks ago and this week was that there was a 6-month break between this and the next one, meaning that there are a lot of angry fans. Go look at the downvotes on YouTube if that's a barometer for anything, and realize that people just don't really want that. But at the same time, I don't know what people are really expecting because this is a show that was pitched from the jump by Robert Kirkman as a show that didn't have a beginning because he never really wanted to explore how the zombie apocalypse happened.
But then they started doing.
They started doing that a little bit with the CDC stuff, but it also he never pitched an ending, which is very odd because you can't. I mean, I don't want to get into spoiler territory with iZombie, but when you guys started talking about the show and the writers came up with it, did they envision a way this show could end?
No.
Really?
No, they did.
Oh,
they've got a few ideas.
They got a
that
few
they've had
ideas.
since day one, and depending on how many seasons we'd get,
Right.
whether we'd reach that point or when we could pull that trigger and go there, or
So, and that's a big part of it too, right? It's like ratings come into play, and they could say ratings are down. You guys get 1 more season or 2 more seasons, and then they truncate their version of the writer's vision, and they go, well, this is what the new ending looks like based on the time period we have, which is something like Hannibal had to deal with, right? I don't know if you watched that.
Yeah, you got to just get to your point
Yeah.
quicker because it's not going to be around for
They were like, we wrote the long version, the short version, and the really tiny version. But for The Walking Dead, it's immensely popular, so there's no end in sight.
It's CSI.
Yeah, it's CSI or WWF or even The Simpsons.
They're even doing like CSI spins off, right?
Yep.
And they got Fear the Walking Dead, which is the LA Walking Dead. I'm sure they'll do
Which
a
is-
New Orleans Walking Dead or a
Which I
a
think
New
we all
York.
thought was them picking up the pen and moving it back to the very beginning, to where we're like, now we're going to learn how the virus started. Nope.
It's just it's based
It's
in
more
just
that-
another city,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
People are just slightly less rotted. I think they just wanted to save money on makeup budget.
On the prosthesis,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, will The Walking Dead ever end? Is this a show that could just go? Could our grandchildren be watching season 40 of The Walking Dead?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I mean, they have to renegotiate contracts soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're approaching their 7th year. I think with most shows, you're signed for a 7-year deal from the start, from your pilot.
Right.
And you're locked in. Now, Norman Reedus, everyone, they get to renegotiate on their 7th season. And that's going to change a lot with how expensive the show becomes and who wants to stay and who wants to leave. And
Well, yeah, but if you look at something like The Simpsons, there were the strikes from the voice actors being like, we want more money. And these were integral characters they had to bring on. But The Walking Dead, if you ask for too much money, they can kill you.
I think a couple are safe though, right?
Really?
I think like isn't like people say Daryl Dixon's the Boba Fett, like even though he was in the Sarlacc pit, I don't know it's a bad example, but he's that character that took off, that you're getting a huge fan base just purely because of that character. I think he could hold them over a barrel.
Yeah, you're right.
Whereas with The Simpsons, I mean, Troy Baker could have probably done everyone's voice. So there was no point negotiating.
That's true.
Probably try that out, see what he does with that.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's our answer. I guess The Walking Dead might never end. So if you like that show, stick around.
Yeah.
Maybe
You
it
can also
will
go
end. Maybe
outside.
it'll end in a couple seasons. We'll see.
Cool. Do we have anything else we want to get to?
No, that's it.
Is that the end of the show?
Yeah, we did it.
Oh, well, cool. That's it. Do you have any final thoughts?
The Bandicoot.
You like the
I
Bandicoot?
found out what a Bandicoot was today, and that's made my
and it's
day.
that. Cool. Well, Rahul, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me,
How
guys.
can people check out iZombie?
It's on the CW at 9/8 Central on Tuesdays. It's our big 2-hour finale next week.
Okay, cool. And I imagine you've got the
And it's in the
other seasons
Hulu and the Netflix
floating
and
out there.
the
So
illegally
that's
and all
probably
of that.
just enough time. Is that enough time right now to just marathon through the whole show?
You could probably grab a DVD because we're not on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But
Somebody asked me that. When's that happening?
I was the biggest. I kicked up the biggest stink when
Oh,
it
really?
came out. Yeah, I was like, "Where's my HD?" No, you
Yeah.
have to watch it in standard def. But yeah, you can probably binge it before the end.
For sure.
Cool.
So go do that because it's a great show.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be
Pleasure.
back next week, I think, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who cares? Brandon Tyrell and James Duggan are playing The Culling. Go check that out. I don't know what it is. You can find out. Just watch it right now. Just sit there. Just
You
keep
don't have to
watching.
move.
That's
Just
it.
don't hit the X,
That's it.
just keep
And
watching.
That's it. All right.
Thanks for watching.